It has become a hot topic in Brooklyn Park whether the city will remove one of its 2 ice rinks and replace it with multi-use courts. If the project moves ahead, the city could replace one of the ice sheets with indoor space for sports like basketball and pickleball, but that's just one option. The city could also expand the community center to build the courts and keep the ice rink. The city council will ultimately decide how to move forward. Meanwhile, viewers have been questioning the involvement of a city staff member with the project. The city's Parks and Facilities manager is also a member of the Minnesota Chill Foundation. The organization provides basketball programming for local youth. The city says his involvement with the project isn't a conflict of interest.
In consultation with our city attorney and with the information that we know at this point, we have not found any conflict of interest from any of the staff involved on the project.
The City Council is expected to discuss the potential building project before the end of the year. There is no set date for a final vote. Brooklyn Park police are looking for a suspect who fired shots outside an apartment complex. Officers had received several 911 calls early Saturday morning about a man walking around with a rifle. Police then found several spent cartridges. Evidence of shots fired from a rifle in the parking lot of the Kensington Place Apartments. Police say no one was injured, nor was there any property damage. As of Monday, no arrests had been made. Meanwhile, an investigation is underway into the cause of a fire at a Maple Grove home. Firefighters were alerted of a fire Saturday morning at a home in the 6200 block of Larch Lane. When they arrived, smoke was pouring out of the garage. Neighbors reporting seeing the fire and helped get the people inside out of the home. No one was injured. Firefighters quickly put out the fire. The cause was not known. The Maple Grove REI store has reopened after a workers' strike last week. The store closed for the day on Friday after union workers walked out and picketed the business. Union officials say REI has engaged in, quote, unfair labor practices. Union members returned to work on Saturday, but say they filed charges against REI with the National Labor Relations Board. The spokesperson for REI says they are engaged in good faith bargaining with the union. The Maple Grove store unionized this summer. It was the 7th REI store in the country to unionize. Residents in Robinsdale who've had to deal with road closures and detours over the last few months will soon get some relief. 36th Avenue North in Robinsdale near Hy-Vee has been closed since early August. Crews have been hard at work since Memorial Day replacing the water main and other underground utilities that were nearly 100 years old. But city officials say they hope to reopen the road by the end of next week, which comes as welcome news for residents and others who have had to navigate around the construction.
I know it's been difficult for some, but we thank them for their patience during this long inconvenience.
A section of 42nd Avenue in Robbinsdale was also closed last week as BNSF Railway made repairs at the railroad crossing. But one lane in each direction reopened to traffic on Monday. Here's a scary thought: Halloween candy that isn't safe for your children. Today on CCX News, there's reassuring news thanks to a company in Brooklyn Park that tests all sorts of packaging. As Corey Bork reports, a lot goes into making sure candy is safe and secure.
You good?
It's one of the best parts of Halloween, getting dressed in costume.
Wow, watermelon.
And choosing the candy.
Oh my gosh, it's the Hulk. I can't believe it. Oh, now he really is the Hulk.
And for many families, candy safety is a hulking concern.
I oversee our laboratory that performs testing for clients.
That's where Joel Fisher comes in.
I first started seeing like the little fun size Snicker bars well before they were launched in product.
It's one of the most enjoyable parts of his job, plus sneaking a treat or two.
You do sometimes.
As laboratory manager at Amitech Mocon in Brooklyn Park, he oversees testing of packaging. Today's test demonstration, packages of peanut M&Ms.
The idea is you inflate it to either try to look for leaks coming out of it.
The first package, a problem discovered.
It could be leaking, I think, actually.
Fisher found a dud.
We'll try this again.
This is what's called a burst test.
So it's kind of fun blowing up stuff for a job.
A testing success.
This one definitely was a winner, so it really held pressure for a long time.
Any kind of packaging you think of is tested here.
Things like even like potato chips. If you look at the structure, you open it up, you'll see this metallization. It's not there to look pretty, it's there to give barrier protection.
Which leads us to a really ghoulish thought.
If you had leaks, people could be messing with it maybe, which we were concerned about on Halloween years past. Also, you get bugs and stuff coming in.
But thanks to the type of testing done here, Halloween is less trick and more treat.
These candies are produced high scale, high quality operations. I would not worry about any of this candy at Halloween.
In Brooklyn Park.
Good science behind what we do.
Corey Bork, CCX News.
AMETEK MoCon doesn't just do testing, but it also manufactures and ships testing equipment around the globe. This year's City of Plymouth photo contest featured nearly 300 entries. That includes this photo behind me titled "The Labyrinth in the Plymouth Millennium Garden" by Larry Paulson, the overall winner of the contest. We leave you with more of the winners from 6 different categories. Enjoy.
Cold weather, really cold weather actually, greeted local football teams who played Friday night and Saturday. In Class 5A, Section 5, Armstrong heated up in a hurry in the Falcons' first postseason game.
The Falcons, the top seed in the section, at home Saturday afternoon against St. Louis Park. The Orioles actually scored first, but then Armstrong answers. Quarterback Dawson Franke cuts it upfield and gets to the end zone for a 34-yard touchdown run. The extra point is good, and the Falcons lead 7-6. 3 plays later, the Orioles on offense, and the pass is intercepted by Seth Newbern. The senior goes 38 yards for a touchdown on the pick six to make it 14-6, and the Falcons are just getting started. Next series on offense, it's Newbern, the receiver, hauling in this 34-yard pass from Franke for another touchdown. Franke with 3 passing TDs and 158 yards through the air in just 10 pass attempts. It's 21-6. Still in the first quarter, the Park pass goes off the hands of the receiver and right to the Falcons' Cal Palan. Blockers in front of him. He weaves his way to the end zone for a 50-yard interception return for a touchdown. Armstrong up 28-6 after 1. Second quarter, Franke under a little pressure gets the pass off to Eli Kemple, and the big tight end does the rest. This is a 41-yard touchdown play. Falcons lead 49-6 at halftime on the way to a 63-12 win. Armstrong hosts Cooper for the section title Friday night at 6 p.m.
Cooper is the number 2 seed for Section 5A football. The Hawks look to win their semifinal that set up another meeting with Armstrong. Jay Wilcox has the highlights.
Minneapolis Washburn visiting Cooper in the Section 5A football semifinals. Washburn leads 3-0 after a quarter, but Cooper's Chase Willis-Wicks intercepts the Andrew Backhouse pass to set Cooper's offense up at the Millers' 9-yard line. And they capitalize immediately as Emmanuel Carmo bounces it outside and then cuts hard for the touchdown as Cooper grabs a 7-3 lead. About 5 minutes later, Tony Colley finishes a drive, leaping into the end zone from a yard out as the Hawks go up 14-3. Washburn answers as Backhouse fakes the toss, rolls left, and hits a wide-open Dominic Morton for the touchdown, and the Millers are within 14-11. Cooper puts together a great drive to close the first half. Cameron Fox throws to Carmo, who is surrounded by defenders, but a stiff arm and some speed gets him past them all for a 30-yard score. Cooper goes on to a 47-26 win to advance to the section final. Jay Wilcox, CCX Sports.
The Maple Grove football team opened defense of its Class 6A state championship with a home game, and the Crimson rolled to another win.
The Crimson at home to play Park Cottage Grove in the round of 32 in Class 6A. First quarter, Maple Grove quarterback Hayden Harney rolls out and hits Nathan Romatka for a 20-yard touchdown pass. The two also combined for the two-point conversion. Crimson lead 8-0. Later in the first, the handoff to Dylan Volkel, and the junior cuts it back and finds a lane to the end zone. This is a 65-yard touchdown run. Maple Grove leads 15-0 after one. Second quarter, Ryder Skansen with a 3-yard run for a touchdown, one of two for him on the night, and the Crimson take a 36-7 lead into halftime. A special teams touchdown for Maple Grove in the third quarter. Jack Weigel with a punt block, Cedric Buchholz with the recovery in the end zone for 6 more points. Maple Grove is up 50-7. A cool moment late in the fourth quarter as Maple Grove's Ella Walls becomes the first female in Maple Grove program history to score a point in a varsity game. The kicker hits for a 19-yard field goal for the final points of the night. The Crimson win 53-21 and host Edina on Friday.
The state soccer and section volleyball playoffs continue this week as well. Go to our website, ccxmedia.org, to follow our coverage of the local teams. That's all for sports. More CCX News after this.
Find more prep sports games and highlights at ccxmedia.org and follow us on social media.